here we go again. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader will start shooting in 10 days. Doesn't seem like that long ago that I was here. They were right in the middle of shooting Prince Caspian, and I was sitting right here talking about, here are some of the central issues we're worried about. You know, these movies are kind of like elections. Every movie has its own unique set of issues that we're talking about and we're concerned about. And so this is a special time, though, because we really don't know what they've done, what direction they've gone with the story. I mean, especially now that we have a new director and a new studio, even it's a different kind of book from all the rest of the series. We're really at a stage where we have no clue exactly what they've done. It's just our imaginations right now. So this is kind of an exciting time. This is the calm before the storm, or as Gandalf would say, the deep breath before the plunge. And so I just kind of want to do a video talking about sort of almost a recap of some of the issues that have come out. Even though they haven't even started shooting yet, there has still been quite a bit of drama. I mean, the major defining thing about this production so far has been delays. Can you believe it? The original announced release date of Voyage of the Dawn Treader was May 1st, 2009. So the original plan was for Dawn Treader to have been released 2 months ago. And here we are, and they're about to start shooting. It was supposed to be released. I'm not saying start shooting. It was supposed to be released 2 months ago. And we were thinking, wow, they're going to have casting announcements for Dawn Treader before we even see a trailer for Prince Caspian. You know, it was going to be crazy. And I'm kind of glad they slowed down. And then, not that long after, the release date was pushed to May 2010. And Prince Caspian ended up probably one of the reasons why Dawn Treader was delayed is that, you know, Prince Caspian was kind of disappointing at the box office. And so now it's been pushed to December 10th, 2010 is the current release date. But delays of shooting, delays with the release date, just everything, the production, that's like, it was even doubting for a while if it was going to get made. Or maybe it would just be endlessly delayed, I don't know. And then, just kind of got a list here. Iron Man 2, of course, that release date was perhaps one of the factors in Dawn Treader changing. In December, Disney announced that they were not going to be a part of Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and for about a month there, we weren't even sure if it was going to get made. I was sort of waiting for a studio to pick it up, and finally, about a month later, Fox picked it up. And so now we've got a brand new studio, and so the big question now is, how much is that going to affect it? I mean, supposedly, Disney didn't have any artistic say. I'm not sure if I believe that, but on paper, they were supposed to not have any artistic say. They were just going to, you know, co-finance and distribute the movie, and that was it. So how much of a difference will Fox's involvement make? You know, that's kind of the question right now. There's been the script has been quite a saga. There's been a few different writers. You know, Marcus and McFeely were in there for a while, and then Michael Petroni, Stephen Knight. You know, there's this new guy in here now whose name I can't quite pronounce. But that's been quite a saga. Then I guess the leaked script, which leaked online around the same time Will Poulter was cast, and it had abominations like the Lady of the Green Curl being a part of it. Even a hint at a Lucy Caspian romance. The stupid thing about them having to, like, recapture the lost souls of the Lord, just something like that. It was really bad. And I was never that worried about it, because it immediately looked to me like something extremely rough, and and the official word was kind of what I was expecting. It's just a highly experimental draft, and, you know, don't get worked up over it. And so I never got too worked up about the leaked script, but it would be an abomination if they went that direction. There's a lot of drama there. And what else have we got here? The locations, you know, originally they were going to be shooting in Prague, Malta, and Ireland. Now we know they're not going to be filming at Barrandov. They're not going to be filming in Mexico. They're going to be in Australia, as a matter of fact. Move up my list here. For a while there was the issue of creatures, and that's just recently that the issues come back. But even before Prince Caspian came out, there was Howard Berger was saying he was going to be working on Dawn Treader. And we were like, oh, they're going to be creatures on board? And I have a whole video where I talk about my opinions on that. We found out just a couple weeks before Prince Caspian released that Trumpkin was going to return for Voyage of the Dawn Treader. He's not in the book at all. He's just mentioned a couple times, and that's it. And possibly Cornelius as well. We're not sure, but we pretty much know Trumpkin for sure. And my position on that is this is just not Trumpkin's story. I don't see a place to put Trumpkin in. There's this attitude among fans that, oh yeah, you can have Trumpkin in there, and he can deliver a few comedic lines. He can do his whole Trumpkin thing, and that's cool. But that's not it. They're going to want to give him something to do. And I can see a lot of changes coming from that. I can already, in my head, I can picture, you know, Michael Apted on the audio commentary just kind of saying, well, we made this change because we really wanted to make Trumpkin more involved in the story, even though he's not in the book at all, and give him something to do. They're going to want to give Trumpkin a journey to where he changes over the course of the film to give him an important part of the plot. So I can really see them making a lot of big changes because of that, and that's what makes me nervous. Obviously, the major casting announcement, Will Poulter is Eustace. I haven't seen him in any movies. I've seen him in a few clips on YouTube. And he's too old. This is always the issue with Narnia actors, is that the age. And he seems too old. I mean, he is too old, in actual fact. He's 2 years older than George. Eustace in the book is a year younger. And I always think that's important that he's a puny little person who couldn't even stand up to Lucy. I thought that was really important. But obviously the most important thing is, does he look young enough? And so we'll see how that goes. But as far as who he is, he seems like the perfect Eustace. He has a great sort of comedic timing. I can see him being a great Eustace. I have a lot of confidence in Will Poulter as far as his performance. But I'm just, as always, a little bit worried about his age. So we'll see how that goes. There's been some concept art has been released, and some previs. Was on the Prince Caspian DVD and didn't tell us a whole lot. We already know the sea serpent is going to be in it. And there was that rumor about an underwater battle. There was a synopsis that said there's going to be battles below and above the water. And for some reason, everybody freaked out about battles under the water. And I was more freaked out about battles over the water. Like, what are you going to do with that? But either one is not cool. We don't want Dawn Treader to be an action film. That would completely defeat what the movies or what the story should all be about to me. I don't want to see a lot of action scenes, or really any action scenes at all, if we can help it, added to Dawn Treader. What else we got here? Anything else? There's been quite a bit. I'm sure I forgot something. A lot of little things. Obviously, the biggest thing of all, Michael Apted as the new director. My reaction initially was kind of negative. It just seemed, because now I've kind of learned more about him now, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about a completely fresh start for the franchise. And it needs one. Prince Caspian had kind of disappointing box office, and we need something different to shake things up. And I think it's cool to see what's his vision going to be, what's his take on it going to be. There's a big question of how much continuity will he have with Andrew Adamson. Is it going to be a totally new thing? And, I mean, really, there's not that much to have continuity with. Dawn Treader is a completely different story from just about all the other books, so there's not that much to be consistent with. But there's a lot of questions like that. I think the major thing is that we're asking now, we don't really know that much about Michael Apted. We don't know what his vision's going to be. And so it's almost back to the old Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe days of who's this Andrew Adamson guy and what's he going to be like. The big question I think right now is, this is such a turning point for the franchise, in that was Prince Caspian and its disappointing box office and its many changes from the book, most of which were necessary, but was it just a one-time thing, or is this really, has it killed the franchise? Was it just, well, it was not a cinematic book, it had all these problems with it, had a bad release date, had all these things going against it. Was this just a one-time incident, or is this really going to kill the franchise? Is it some reflection of where they're going to go with the story, or future films? Have audiences really lost interest in the franchise, or was it just, an isolated incident, a one-time thing? And with a new vision, a new director, a new studio, new everything, it'll be really interesting to see what happens. If there's one thing we do kind of know, it's that, they've talked about, a couple of people like Michael Flaherty have said they really want to go back to sort of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe style. Not surprising, considering that, Caspian didn't do very well and Wardrobe did extremely well. That's the reason I think it would be, no matter how much you hated Prince Caspian, you can't write off the entire franchise because of that. That'd be silly. Prince Caspian always had so many things going against it. And also, it didn't do very well at the box office, so of course they're going to want to do something different. It makes sense they're going to want to go back to Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, kind of that style. So don't write off the... If they screw up Dawn Treader, go ahead and write off the franchise. But don't do it because of Prince Caspian. That would be a dumb reason. But again, was Caspian a one-time thing? Or has it really killed the franchise? Is it some reflection of where the franchise is going? And so there's so many major question marks to Dawn Treader right now. Not just artistically, but commercially. What's going to happen to this movie? And we're going to find out over the next Dawn Treader releases in NarniaWeb.com. Get to the countdown clock here. 522 days. They start shooting in 10 days. So I'm looking forward to spending the next year and a half or so working through some of these issues as we continue to go further up and further in.